All right, Sports Mashup number 107, April 19th, 2023 is the date of today. And we start in the NBA where the playoffs are underway, and it's kind of award season as well in the NBA.
Yeah, so last Wednesday, the play-in, the East, the Bulls beat the Raptors 109-105, and in the West, the Thunder beat the Pelicans 123-118. The GM did come out and say it was his decision to not play Zion in that game.
I mean, I don't know what you're waiting for if you're New Orleans. I guess you'd kick it to next year and you're like, we'll be better next year. But I feel like they did that last year too. So
I think they got a lot of key pieces getting McCollum, and when Zion's fully healthy, I mean, with him,
yes.
I mean, when you have McCollum, who's that other point guard that they extended?
Alvarado.
Yeah, you have those two, Brandon Ingram and
Herb Jones.
Who's their five? Not Vucevic.
Valanciunas.
Yeah.
Well, I think you should be a little bit worried if you're New Orleans about just other teams in the West overtaking you, because I think OKC is probably going to turn into a monster within the next couple of years with how much talent they have, plus SGA. I think the Suns are going to be good for a while. I don't think the Lakers are ever going to be really non-competitive if Anthony Davis is still there and can stay relatively healthy. But there's a lot of teams in the West you got to be worried about if you're New Orleans. I don't know if you're going to be able to just keep kicking the can down the road with Zion not playing in these playoff games, especially when it seemed to me like he was fully healthy or healthy enough to definitely play a play. That's the huge difference between the NBA and the NHL.
Yeah, but then they came afterwards too saying he wasn't 5-on-5 ready. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know.
But if he said he's physically there, how is he not able to play 5-on-5?
If it's the playoffs, I think you got to lay it all on the line.
I also think they need to restructure some of the NBA on which conference you're in, because how is New Orleans in the West?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, that should definitely be an Eastern team.
I would agree, yeah.
I mean, Milwaukee's further west.
Yeah.
And then Friday, the final play-ins, you had the Heat beat the Bulls 102-91, and then the Timberwolves destroyed the Thunder 120-95.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised by the result. I remember saying that the Bulls-Raptors winner had no chance against Miami, and I could see a scenario where the Thunder or Pelicans could beat the T-Wolves, but I think the Thunder are still a year or two away. Obviously, they'll get Chet Holmgren in there next season. Plus, they're going to have a good draft pick this season, so plenty of opportunity there.
And the Heat looked good game one against the Bucks, but lost Tyler Hero. He may be able to play in the finals if they get there to a hand injury. But then Giannis is also hurt.
Yeah, Giannis, I think, is questionable for tonight's game.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Which may have – did it go to doubtful?
I think he went from doubtful to questionable.
But, yeah.
You also said the NBA, just ridiculous that this is not a bigger penalty, but they fine the Mavs $750,000 for, quote, failing our fans, which is AKA they pretty much eliminated themselves from the playoffs and trying to lose a game for the draft pick. And I think that if Adam Silver –
they didn't just do it for one game. They did it for the last two games.
If Adam Silver cared about this at all, truly, he would have the stones to take away that pick. What the hell? Why not? I think Adam Silver is the most overrated commissioner in sports. It's not even close. Talk about him like he's the best. I mean, how many stupid decisions or rules has he brought to the league? Like, this stupid midseason tournament thing is going to be stupid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who was it before him?
David Stern.
Yeah, he wasn't the greatest either.
No, but I don't think that he tried to do things or overdo things the way that Silver does.
Yeah. He tried keeping it traditional.
Yeah. He also had Draymond ejected from Game 2 against the Kings after doing some sort of WWE move on Domantas Sabonis in the fourth quarter. He gets suspended for Game 3. I don't know. I mean, he definitely overdid what he was doing. I don't know if he needed to be ejected and suspended for a game, but whatever.
They came out and said that Dumars said Green's history excessive act led to the ban.
Yeah, and
But
I
yeah,
think
Giannis was upgraded to questionable.
yeah, I think I think it might be maybe notable that Joe Dumars worked for the Sacramento Kings less than 3 years ago. So just saying. Just saying.
And then awards, defensive player of the year has been announced. Right, they're doing it just randomly every so many days. Jaren Jackson Jr. of Memphis won it, and then Brooke Lopez came in second in the voting, and Evan Mobley came in third. Jaren Jackson is the second youngest to win the award.
Yeah, rightful winner, I would say. Had a good year defensively, no doubt. Yeah, I think Nick Claxton is another guy that could have been in the conversation.
Yeah, surprised he wasn't in there.
Rookie of the Year finalists are the Magic's Paolo Banchero, Oklahoma City Thunder Jalen Williams. This is the Santa Clara Jalen Williams, not the Arkansas one. They have both of them. And Utah's Walker Kessler. I assume Banchero easily with the victory in this one, I would think.
You would think. And then sixth man of the year, Boston's Malcolm Brogdon, Knicks Emmanuel Quickley, and Milwaukee's Bobby Portis Jr.
Yeah, I would think Emmanuel Quickley should be the winner of this one, but I don't really know because I haven't really crunched the numbers on that one.
Yeah, I mean Brogdon did do a lot of scoring and helping them out. He also made a lot of threes and had a high 3 percentage for the year.
Yeah, that's true.
Bobby Portis, I didn't really keep up with his stats at all over the years, so I don't.
Yeah, I don't know either. Coach of the Year, Sacramento's Mike Brown, Oklahoma City's Mark Daigneault, and Boston's Joe Mazzulla. I think it's probably going to be closer than it should be, but I think it will be Mike Brown. Sacramento getting the playoffs for the first time in forever.
I was going to say, I think it's going to be between him and Joe Mazzulla.
Yeah, I agree. Mazzulla, first year, weird situation coming in.
Yeah, he came in weird, and then they just started off hot. Finished second still.
Second in the East ahead of a good Sixers team and a good Cleveland team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then clutch player of the year was announced. Winner was the Kings' De'Aaron Fox, and Jimmy Butler and DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, this is the first time they're doing this one. I find it to be kind of a weird award, but I think Fox is well deserving.
Yeah, I mean, define clutch player of the year. What's defining that?
I think they're probably looking at a lot of different numbers in terms of the analytics and crunch time and numbers down the stretch of games, making big plays. How efficient and how well do you play in the final minutes of a game? Like, for example, those numbers last season, I remember the Suns were like by far the best crunch time team in the league. Like once you get down to the final 3 or 4 minutes of a game, they were going to dominate. And I think that's probably from an individual standpoint, the numbers that they look at for that, but it's just kind of a weird award.
In my mind, like you would think Luke could be in there for what he does in the final minutes and how many clutch shots he's made.
Yeah. I don't know if the league wanted to put Luka front and center on any of these awards after the way their season went and ended, but I don't know. I think Jimmy Butler's a good pick for it too. But Fox deserved it. Most improved player, you have Utah's Lauri Markkanen, Oklahoma City's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and the New York Knicks' Jalen Brunson. This is a tough one, but I think it's got to be Markkanen. I mean, Markkanen was an all-star, was really, really good for most of the season. Brunson was just an example of like getting a way more time playing a lot more minutes than he had been.
Yeah, I don't see him as like improved.
I think his numbers were definitely a big improvement, but I guess you could say the same thing about Markkanen. Markkanen got a lot more minutes in Utah than he did in Cleveland. But I'm looking at the numbers. I mean, yeah, improvement numbers wise, I mean, it was huge for Brunson. He 24 points per game this season, 6 assists. He was only at 16 last year, so that's 8 points. Markkanen 25, 8, and 2 this year, so that's 11-point upgrade. I would say it should be Markkanen because if you look at the minutes played, Brunson is playing 4 more minutes than last season, and as is Markkanen, and then Markkanen had just more improved numbers in almost every category. So I think it should be Markkanen. But I think if they gave it to Brunson, I think that'd be well-deserved as well. And Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is just a superstar. I think he's too big of a star to win this award, to be honest. And Brunson's kind of close to that too. But I think Markkanen owned the narrative for the first 3 months of the season for this award. I think that's going to come back and help him.
Yeah, and then you had the MVP finalists made. No surprise, Jokic, Embiid, and Giannis.
If I had a vote, I would vote for Embiid. That's where I'm at. Embiid 1, Jokic 2, Giannis 3.
And then Kevin Durant made NBA history. He's the first 55, 40, and 90 player. Shot 56% from the field, 40.4% from the three-point line, and 91.9% from the free throw line. Though in limited games, people could argue that.
Still impressive nonetheless, I would say.
Yeah, especially for the minute when he does play and he's healthy, the minutes he plays to still shoot basically 92% from the free throw line and 56 from the field.
Yeah, definitely.
And just with his ability to shoot 40% from the three-point line.
Yeah. All right, current playoff stuff here. The Eastern Conference, you have the Heat with a 1-0 series lead against the Bucks. Game 2 is tonight. Celtics 2-0 series lead against the Hawks. That series is over. And the Sixers with a 2-0 series lead over the Nets. And then the Cavs won last night to tie up their series with the Knicks. 1-1 headed to MSG. I think Donovan Mitchell's going to have a big game in Game 3, by the way. Just a prediction.
Yeah, and then in the Western Conference, you have the Nuggets up 1-0 over the Timberwolves. They play tonight. Lakers up 1-0 over the Grizzlies. They play tonight. And then Kings up 2-0 over the Warriors, who tomorrow night will be without Draymond. So see what the Warriors starting lineup will be without him. And then the Suns won last night, so they're tied 1-1 with the Clippers.
Yeah, I was wrong about the Kings for sure. Props to the Kings. It's been a hell of an environment there, and obviously getting a 2-0 series lead is big time. So I think the Warriors make a response, though, in this Game 3.
Yeah, because, they could play with a small lineup, which could make the Kings have to switch their lineup around. You never know.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the NFL.
Cardinals safety Budda Baker requests a trade.
Another guy that wants paid, and Arizona's not exactly the best place right now.
Yeah, especially with D-Hop running out of there. So it's like,
plus Kyler's going to be hurt to start next season.
Yeah, so you're like, we're not going to have much offense. We're going to be on the field a lot.
Yeah.
I want out of here.
Yeah. I wouldn't. I don't blame him. I don't know if it'll actually happen, but
imagine if he could get traded to Cincinnati after them losing Jesse Bates, and then they can get Budda Baker to replace him.
Wouldn't be bad. So this is now 2 straight weeks in a row where you have a defensive player requesting a trade. That's mainly because they want a big contract. You saw it with Devin White last week. So I would bet that not both of them happen. I think only one happened, if at all. So.
And then this next one, I think the Steelers kind of fleeced the Rams on this. The Steelers are set to trade for the Rams wide receiver Allen Robinson. The term agreements, it's all based on his physical, but the Steelers would get Allen Robinson and a seventh round pick from the Rams, number 251. The Rams would get the Steelers' 7th round pick, number 234. And the Rams would also pay $10.25 million of his salary. The Steelers would pay the remaining $5 million.
Yeah, it's a good pickup if he's healthy for to have a guy like that for Kenny Pickett. But
yeah, then you have
struggled for a couple of years.
Well, now. Mike Tomlin's wanted him forever since he was at Penn State. And he always said that when he gets older, he would want to bring him in and bring him home. So and then you have Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, Allen Robinson, Pat Freiermuth, and then Najee Harris. Just kind of another guy to improve their lineup. Maybe kind of replaces the guy they lost to the Bears last year.
Yeah, Claypool. They're putting some nice pieces around Kenny Pickett. I think Kenny Pickett's going to have either a middle of the road year two or a really good year two.
And is Trubisky still there, right?
I don't know. He might be. He might not be. I don't.
But him and Allen Robinson had a lot of success together in Chicago, so maybe he can.
Yeah, he is still there.
So maybe he can help Pickett with Allen Robinson.
Yeah, possibly. The Eagles extended quarterback Jalen Hurts 5 years, $255 million, 179.3 guaranteed. Good deal for both sides, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say that's a good thing. And then now you have Tua saying he molded retirement, but he learned how to fall.
So I think this means like learning how to position your body correctly when you fall to not get injured or something. I don't know. So you don't hit your head on the ground?
Whatever that means, how he learned how to fall.
Yeah, it's got to be something along those lines, I guess.
And then now Jags receiver Calvin Ridley says he is still a 1,400-yard type of player.
We'll see.
Which, I mean, you would think if he kept his body in shape and had a year off to fully recover and everything, he should be able to kill it.
Yeah, with Trevor Lawrence for sure, yeah.
And then I saw the latest prediction on the whole Aaron Rodgers trade to the Jets was the Packers would get a 2023 second-round pick, a 2024 conditional second-round pick, becomes a first if Aaron Rodgers doesn't retire after this first year, and then a 2024 third-round pick. The Jets would get Aaron Rodgers and a 2025 conditional draft pick if Aaron Rodgers does retire.
Yeah, I'm just ready for this to be done, to be honest.
Or what if it doesn't happen and then he's still a Packer?
Well, then I welcome him back with open arms. I guess. I know. And we have the draft.
Yeah, next Thursday.
Yeah, we'll discuss a little mock draft stuff next week for sure. All right, let's go to golf.
You had the RBC Heritage winner Matthew Fitzpatrick won in a 3-0 playoff over Jordan Spieth. They played 18 over again, tied, played 17, tied, and then Fitzpatrick hit a heck of an iron shot in on his second shot. Spieth kind of went in the same area where he went in on the original time they played 18 to the right of the green, and Matthew Fitzpatrick won it. Shot 17 under, won $3.6 million, and got the old red, black, green plaid jacket.
Yeah, it's another elevated event, another good win for Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, he needed another big win.
Yeah, hadn't been playing all that well after winning the U.S. Open.
No. And then this week you have the Zurich Classic of New Orleans, defending champion Patrick Cantlay and Xander Schauffele at TPC Louisiana, Avondale, Louisiana. Tiger also had ankle surgery, no timetable on when he'll be ready to play again.
Yeah, I'm distracted by the TV in front of me. It has this Scherzer thing up there. I want to see how mad he gets. But anyway, yeah, I don't know when we'll see Tiger again. I mean, maybe not again this year. Maybe not ever. Who knows?
Well, was it he was scoping out when they played in California, the course for the U.S. Open?
Yeah, the LACC, yeah.
So I don't know if he'll be back for that. I think that was probably like the next thing he was trying to really play in.
Yeah, I don't know. Might have been in the mix at Oak Hill in terms of being in the field for the PGA, but that's not going to happen now in May. So, all right, Go to college hoops here.
You had Miami's point guard Isaiah Wong, who was the ACC's Player of the Year, is entering the NBA draft and did hire an agent, so he's in.
Yeah, I think it could be one of those players that doesn't get taken very high, but then ends up being a valuable piece for a team that will give him a chance.
He's a guy who can catch or play off the ball and catch and shoot. He can also
really athletic too.
Yeah, he can create his own shot. He looks to get open shooters the ball.
Yeah. Ex-Notre Dame head coach Mike Brey joining the Atlanta Hawks coaching staff under Quinn Snyder. Not really surprising to see that.
Just when we think he's retired and maybe trying to take another college coaching job, he's moving to the NBA.
Yeah, interesting. Over to Major League Baseball, you had the Cardinals' young outfielder Jordan Walker, 12-game hitting streak coming to an end on Thursday, but a terrific start to his career at just 20 years old.
Like, under the radar, too. It wasn't really talked about that much that he was on a hit streak to start the year until it was over.
Not much national attention on it for a while. You also had Fernando Tatis Jr. back with the Padres. His suspension ends tomorrow. He'd been just hitting home run after home run and dominating the minors. So that kind of shows that he doesn't belong there at all. It's a completely different level for him. He was dominating.
Oh, they were allowing him to play in the minors this whole time?
Yeah. Let me see if I can find his numbers. I mean, they're stupid. But also, real quick here, you had Kershaw 200th. Jesus, 2000 would be insane. 200th career win over the Mets. Last night he was terrific. And then, as I just said a few minutes ago, Max Scherzer was ejected today after a hand and glove check. Apparently, too much rosin on his glove or something. I mean, Domingo Germán had the same thing for the Yankees over the weekend, and they didn't eject him.
They checked it twice. They checked him when he came off the field, and then when he went to the mound, the whole crew chief and everyone went to the mound and checked him, and then he was yelling at the said it was rosin, and they said it was a sticky substance on his either hand or glove.
Yeah, very weird. By the way, Fernando Tatis, in 39 plate appearances in the minors, batted .515 with 7 home runs and 15 RBIs. So, yeah. I think he's probably too good. That's also an 1,800 OPS, by the way. Probably too good for the minors.
And then you had the Reds and pitcher Hunter Green agree to a 6-year, $53 million extension.
Good deal for the Reds, and then I think there's escalators in the deal that can get it up to $95 million or something. But either way, it's a really good deal for the Reds.
Yeah, it sucks that he's stuck in Cincinnati.
Yeah, but who knows? Maybe they'll be good 4 years from now, and
And then DeGrom exited Monday's game with a sore wrist, but yesterday he said he feels better and hopes to make his next start. Can either of these old Mets pitchers stay healthy between him and Syndergaard?
Syndergaard thus far.
But, I mean, just in their career in general.
Yeah, probably not.
And then Brewers ace pitcher Burns left the game with a pectoral strain Monday.
It's been a weird season for him thus far. Hasn't really been as sharp as we've seen over the past few years.
No, nor I think during his starts he hasn't gotten the run support.
Yeah, he's got a 4.76 ERA in 4 starts. He's been sub 3 ERA for 3 years now.
So who knows if this pectoral thing was an issue before Monday's start.
Certainly could have been. Not getting as many strikeouts either. Been a 200 strikeout guy typically, but only 17 Ks in 22 and 2/3 innings. That is not as good as normal because usually he's been around 12 to 13 Ks per 9, and he was only at 6.8 this season. So interesting season for him thus far.
And then we have the player of the week, which Ethan agreed before we recorded that he messed up on this.
Well, I just feel like Matt Olson is a home run every night, and then I realized that he was only 6 for 24 over the last week, but I picked him anyway. 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, 4 walks, 5 runs, a triple. I just feel like I see him hitting a home run every night, so I just wanted to pick him. But
I'm curious if where his big ass hit a triple at.
Trying to think of where they've been playing.
Just like Edmund had one today to center. I don't know how I didn't get to see the replay on that yet, but I want to know what happened that he got a triple.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
But I was thinking that is one of the benefits is when Kisner starts at catcher because he was on first and scored. If Yachty or Contreras was on first, that's a double with a guy on second and third.
Fair. Yeah, that's fair.
I picked Baltimore shortstop Jorge Mateo. It was 9 for 18, 1 home run, 2 doubles, 4 runs, 7 RBIs, 2 walks.
Better pick than mine, certainly. NHL, we have the regular season stat leaders. It's regular season over. Obviously, Connor McDavid of the Edmonton Oilers leading in points at 153, 25 ahead of his teammate Leon Draisaitl.
Defenseman points was Erik Karlsson of the Sharks, 101, 25 ahead.
Rookie points, Matty Beniers of the Seattle Kraken, 57, 8 ahead.
Goals, McDavid, 64, 3 ahead above Pasta.
Defenseman goals, Erik Karlsson, San Jose, 25, 3 ahead.
Which I think he was 3 ahead of Dougie Hamilton.
That sounds right, yeah.
Rookie goals, Matty Beniers, 24, tied with Dallas's Wyatt Johnston.
Assists, Connor McDavid, 89, 6 ahead.
Defenseman assists, Erik Karlsson, 76, 7 ahead.
Rookie assist, Matias Michelli, Arizona, 38, 5 ahead.
Goalie wins, Linus Olmark at 40, 1 ahead. And then you had, combined with both Boston, Swayman was at number 15 in wins with 24.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Which I'm curious, they had 65 wins. I don't know how they must have had a random goalie at some point play that, because those two only combined for 64 wins and they had 65.
Yeah, it's interesting. Goalie save percentage, Linus Olmark at 938, 007 ahead.
I think he stuck there the entire time we did the stats.
I think so, yeah.
So with McDavid and Karlsson.
Yeah.
And then team point leaders, Boston Bruins, 65, 12, and 5, 135 points, 22 points, which was ahead of Carolina.
And the playoffs started on Monday, April 17th.
And then the Eastern Conference, you have the Bruins 1-0 over the Panthers, the Hurricanes 1-0 over the Islanders, the Rangers 1-0 over the Devils, and the Lightning 1-0 over the Maple Leafs.
In the West, you have the Jets, a 1-0 series lead over the Vegas Golden Knights. The Kings won in overtime in Edmonton. They're up 1-0. The Wild won in double overtime in Dallas. They're up 1-0 on them. And the Kraken won on the road with a 1-0 series lead over the Colorado Avalanche. Road teams in game ones in the Stanley Cup playoffs this year, 6-2, 4-0 in the West. The only 2 home teams to win in game one were the Hurricanes and Bruins, which is obviously not surprising. Those are the 2 best teams in the league in the regular season. So the West is wide open, and all 4 road teams winning is a good indicator of that. I know it's only game one. There's still plenty of series to go, but that feels like a good indicator of the conferences.
So you're saying whoever comes out of the East is going to win the Cup?
I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I think it would very much depend on who they were playing. Like, I think there's a few teams in the West that could get there that I wouldn't expect to win. And I think the Wild and the Kraken and the Jets.
And that is the Kraken's first ever career playoff win.
Yeah. They do it on the road in Colorado too. Pretty impressive victory there. Didn't really feel like a game
And what
in
is
terms of Seattle dominated a lot of it.
is this their third season?
Second season.
So second season making the playoffs. Not
Yeah,
bad.
I mean, the expansion fee is really high. The NHL usually gives the expansion teams nowadays, at least the last two, a good chance to be competitive right away.
Yeah.
We saw Vegas get to the Cup final their first year, so
Yeah, the Vegas, they got handed
an
an amazing lineup to start with.
A lot of that was because of NHL GMs not really knowing what to do and messing it up.
Here's Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah, and they gave them Riley Smith and William Karlsson and most of the best players that Vegas got weren't even expansion drafted. They were just trades to like, hey, we don't want you to draft this guy, so we give you this guy and then a second round pick. And then, it's a disaster. They didn't do that for Seattle, but still Seattle did a good job. All right, betting picks of the week. I went 10-2 last week, 2-0 in the NBA, had 3 in golf, 2-0 in the NHL, and 3-2 in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, I was 6-4, 0-2 in the NBA, 2-0 in hockey, 3-2 in baseball, and I hit on one golfer, which was Tommy Fleetwood. So I'm now 788 and 587.
I am 771 and 582. All right, let's start with baseball this week.
Yeah, and all of our picks are for tomorrow.
Yep.
You got I got the Yankees minus 155 over the Angels, the Reds plus 125 over the Pirates, the Dodgers minus 105 over the Cubs, the Padres minus 125 over the D-backs. This game, they're getting Tatis back in the lineup. And then the Mets minus 135 over the Giants.
I am taking the Yankees minus 155 over the Angels, the Dodgers minus 105 over the Cubs, Phillies minus 195 against the Rockies, D-backs plus 105 against the Padres, and the Mets minus 135 over the Giants.
Taking the D-backs, huh?
Yep, why not? Let's do NBA playoff games.
I got the Kings plus 5.5 over the Warriors, and the Suns minus 2.5 over the Clippers.
Give me the Nets plus 5 to keep it close, maybe win in Game 3, and then give me the Warriors minus 5.5 over the Kings. All right, Stanley Cup Playoffs, Game 2s.
I got the Lightning plus 140 over the Maple Leafs, and Vegas minus 150 over the Jets.
I'm taking Toronto minus 165 over the Lightning, and I'm taking the Avalanche minus 205 over the Kraken. Now we have the Zurich Classic of New Orleans.
To win, I have Xander Schauffele and Patrick Cantlay at plus 300. Siwoo Kim and Tom Kim plus 1,400. And then Harris English and Tom Hogue at plus 3,500.
I am taking Colin Morikawa and Max Homa to win plus 800. Sam Burns, Billy Horschel plus 1,400. And Justin Suh and Sahith Theegala plus 1,800.
Top 5, I have Colin Morikawa and Max Homa at plus 170.
Taking the Kim and Kim duo at plus 280 to finish top 5.
Top 10, I have Sam Burns and Billy Horschel at plus 120.
I have plus 280 for Harris English and Tom Hogue.
And top 20, I want to hear yours first.
I am taking the Fitzpatrick and Fitzpatrick duo, plus 120.
That's what I took. I took the brothers.
It stood out because Matt Fitzpatrick winning last week, the number seemed pretty low for that in terms of how many groups were ahead of him.
And you know that just those two have played together so many rounds.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick's in good form. He played well at the Masters. He played well this week, or last week, I guess.
His brother or Matthew?
Matt Fitzpatrick.
I was saying, him and Alex got to have so much chemistry, A, being brothers, and B, they've played so many rounds together.
Yeah.
Because what is the format of this? Is it each day it's a different thing?
I think so, yeah.
They do alternate shot best ball.
Yeah,
Do they do that scramble?
I think they do that one of the days. I don't remember, though, fully. So We'll see. We'll see. We'll be back next week. We'll have more playoff talk. We will have more MLB notes and NFL draft stuff. So we will see everybody next week for number 101.